everybody, my name is Crystal. I'm with HYSB. We're here today to talk about teaching your kids healthy boundaries. So firstly, what are boundaries? They're the dividing lines in our lives between where we feel comfortable and where we feel unsafe. These barriers look different for each individual based on life experiences. Good boundaries are clear and consistent. So let's talk about some ways we can teach your kid to use them. Boundary areas might include things like talking and actions, touching, and using social media. It's crucial to teach kids to pay attention to where they feel comfortable from a young age, because it's important for them to learn on how to check in with themselves and identify how they're feeling. It's important as they grow up to respect their own boundaries to protect their safety. Encourage kids to learn what is inside of their comfort zones. So where should there be boundaries? With classmates and friends. What things can we share? A snack? A book? Yeah, it's great to be kind, but letting someone borrow something once and never seeing it again might be a sign for a boundary line. Maybe a best friend wants help cheating on a test. These are hard places to draw lines. Wanting to help a friend and not wanting to be taken advantage of. With personal information, talk about oversharing. Is this something the whole class should know? Or just a close friend? Learning to be mindful of how private stories can spread and make us wish we kept them to ourselves. It's okay to tell a friend that you just don't want to answer a certain question. While using social media, as your kids begin to use social media, speak about how to speak to others online. Would you be so critical of a friend if he was sitting across from you at lunch? Talk about what kinds of things can be posted. If Grandpa saw this, would that be cool? Remind them of the consequences of inappropriate online behavior, like cyberbullying. With physical touch or consent, it's important for younger and older kids, though it looks different at all ages. For example, younger kids may need to be reminded to give friends personal space, like asking if it's okay to give a friend a hug. It's also important to teach kids how to have autonomy over their bodies. This is a valuable lesson which can age with your child. Not giving in at a young age empowers your kid to decline unwanted physical touch in his or her teen years. Feeling uncomfortable is a good reason to say no. No further explanation needed. If Great Aunt Margaret is upset, maybe just stand up for your kid. Her body, her rules. Things to consider, like family expectations. Talk with your kids about what things are okay at home versus what's expected at school. What kinds of things are family events or topics that are okay to share? The boundaries you hope your kids would keep. Talk with your kids about what's right and wrong. Maybe you hope they'll share extra mittens with a friend on a cold day, but as long as they're not the mittens that grandma made. Encourage them to ask questions. Be open with them. Try to show them you're there to help guide them. Let them talk openly about the things that may make them feel uncomfortable to help them find where the healthy boundary lies. So, we have boundaries in 4 steps. Firstly, identify. Identify the line between comfortable and uncomfortable. Encourage your kids to pay attention to when they feel uncomfortable or when something feels off. Help them draw the line. Help them know how to ask others to act differently. Encourage the use of I sentences. I feel uncomfortable when blank. It hurts my feelings when blank. So please don't do that anymore. Or simply, no, I don't want to. Next is stand your ground. This is where it can get a little tricky. Remind people when they're crossing the line. Please don't post pictures of me online unless I say it's okay. Please don't borrow things from my bag without asking first. And lastly, modeling. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Wherever your line is, make sure you treat other kids that way too. We can't expect one thing from others if we're not willing to offer it ourselves. Sure, some of these topics are not fun to discuss. However, it is important for parents to have these discussions, to teach their kids that it's okay to say no, that it is good not to give in to pressures to share or do things that make them feel uncomfortable. But without being taught this, kids are vulnerable and may not know that they can set their own boundaries to help keep themselves safe. All right, everybody, well, that's all I got, so thanks for listening.